welcome back once again. Uh, we were continuing with our topic of customer relationship management. We will look at certain definition and the concept of the same. Now, traditional belief, as we all know, was that customer loyalty and profits, they are both directly proportional to each other. Means higher the customer loyalty, more are going to be the profits. Now, let us look at this picture, which apparently appears to be of a chaos, where a lady in pure white on the left is the seller, and the other person seems to be the buyer. Now, what are they talking about? If we just look at this picture and just try to figure out what they must be talking, then the number one answer would be yes, they would be talking about sale and purchase of the goods. Number two, there might be certain general talks as well. And number three, if the lady is regular uh, purchaser over there, then they might be talking about daily life as well. So this conversation that is taking place between the seller, it is very important for the seller because it is an effective method to interact with the customer. Because a good conversation can make the customer comfortable and thus make her come again and again for shopping, and ultimately making her a loyal customer. But the question is loyalty the only one factor that drives profit? If you look at this picture on your screen over here, there are a lot of customers that are shopping at the supermarket. Are these all of these customers loyal to this particular supermarket only? Well, the answer may be yes and maybe no. Because most customers, they may just choose to shop here because of certain reasons other than loyalty. That is, discounts available, modern infrastructure of that supermarket, and the convenience of shopping at a supermarket store. Now, does loyalty always drive profits? Third and last picture before we move on with the topic. This is a shopkeeper. As you can see, he's sitting idle as there are no customers right now. So maybe even he has got some loyal customers, but the problem is that it is not guaranteed that all of his loyal customers come and shop every day. Looking at all these examples, we can conclude that the businesses need to think beyond loyalty. And CRM is all about dealing with customers in such a manner so as to become profitable. Now, customer loyalty is, of course, one of the important factors for more profit, but it is not the only factor, like we just discussed, and it does not always drive high profits, like we saw in the last example when the shopkeeper was sitting idle. So we must understand this from another point of view, which is closer to the core of the business. And at the core of every business is profit. The goal of managing relationship with the customers should be able to answer these basic questions, like who does bring the money and how can we make them our customers. Answering those questions is obviously not easy, and one thing is very clear, that the answer must be in quantitative terms, or you can say it must be in quantitative nature. Why? Because most products and services are nowadays individualized, and most transactions are now recorded and stored as data. Let's look at example number one. These are certain, pamphlets which we receive generally through our emails as well. So these are certain things. All those promotional mails which we receive are basically, they are sent to us because our data has been shared with those companies, and our data has been recorded somewhere. Example number two: we all watch Netflix at our home, and there is a feature in Netflix where it shows recently watched movies as well. That means while you are watching a movie on Netflix in turn is recording your activity over its platform. Sounds scary? Yes, it is. Let's go ahead. Now, if you Google CRM, this is what you get. The first answer that Google gives if you search CRM is CRM software, Salesforce India. That means that generally Google takes it as a takes CRM as a CRM software. But this course which we are having over here, it does not focus on how to use the software. Basically, we over here are trying to know the whole CRM mechanism. Now, customer relationship management can be understood in three ways. One is in the by the means of understanding the markets, next customers and data. So let's talk about market first. Right now, the market that we are observing around us currently, has become very, very mature. Mature in the sense that there is a lot of competition. It is very hard to attract new customers, and it is again has become very important to retain the existing ones. With this, we can have a short look at the this red ocean and blue ocean strategy. Red ocean strategy is when many companies they compete with each other in the same market, trying to eat into each other's business, and thus thereby causing the ocean to become red. Whereas blue ocean strategy is when out of these competing companies, one of them it tries to move away from that red ocean and creates its own blue ocean and dominates the new market. The examples can be seen. First one, we can have Uber. Uber it devised a new market by amalgamation of advanced technology and modern devices, right? Which was these facilities were not available earlier. Uber was the first one to start this thing, thereby creating a blue ocean of its own. So while others were there at the taxi stand fighting with each other for a customer, Uber changed the way these cab driving worked, these cab services worked. But later on, what happened was this is a data of December 2017, where Uber was successful in capturing the uncontested market space, but eventually was flooded by the competitors. You can see there is Ola, there is Jugnu, there is Meru, and one more. So thereby turning the blue ocean into a red. Let's look at example number two. Apple. Back in 2003, Apple it headed into the space of digital music with its unique and eminent product that was called iTunes. So it was again a blue ocean strategy this Apple devised. But later on, and even if you look at today, iTunes was also flooded by competitors later. There was Savan, Wing Music, Hangama, Ghana, and all this stuff. So earlier, what was a blue ocean now turned into a red. So one thing is clear with these examples is that a blue ocean will not always remain a blue ocean, because other competitors will see profit in that segment and they will also try to enter into it, thereby turning the blue ocean into a red one again. Now we talk about customers. Nowadays, customers' tastes have become a lot more differentiated. Therefore, firms want to know much more about each individual customer. This is 10 emerging behaviors of Indian consumers. This is a data through a survey by BCG Analysis. So 85% of consumers basically are very information centered, meaning that before making a purchase, they check at least two data points across all categories to know about the product before actually going to make a purchase. 62% they shop just to stay trendy, meaning that their product, maybe mobile phone, car, any other thing, it is working absolutely perfect. Still, they want to upgrade it. That why only just to stay in trend, just to stay updated, they make a purchase. It is strange, but it is true. And 62% of people do that. Next, we have 57% of people who adopt time saving services, meaning that they can eat a pre-packaged food or shop online just to save time for any other activity. And equal number of percentage of people, that is 57%, they spend on services, foods or gadgets related to health focus, right? So we have got chips which are not very oily. We have got Apple iWatch, which people use to concentrate upon their health goals and stuff like that. Next trend is 56% people have growing interest in customized products. 54% says that the purchase decisions in their household are made by the female member of the family, which is good. Women, talking about women empowerment. Then 50% of people they prefer Indian brands over international ones. So again, it is a good thing. Consumers who choose to buy Indian brands over international brands. in at least one category. They are 50%, so it's good. Next, 37% is valuing experiences over product, meaning that these are the people, consumers who trade down in certain product categories in order to spend more on experience. I mean, if you go to a restaurant, you generally go to eat food, so you are primarily concerned with the quality of food. But there are 37% of people who are also equally conscious about the ambience of the place. Then we have got 37% again, exclusivity adds value. These are the people who said that a recent purchase was value for money purely because the product was exclusive, meaning that the product which is very exclusive, very rare, not commonly found, if they purchase it, they become satisfied just by the fact that it is a unique product not available with everybody else. And 17% they prefer renting over buying. Although they can buy a product, still they prefer to rent, right? Because they are 17% are there who have tried renting in at least one category where owning is the norm. Let's talk about Furlenco and stuff like that. These are the people. So these are certain. We talked about just 10 emerging behaviors of Indian consumers. Then we have got data. Tons of data is available online. If we talk about the developed countries, then they have been having access to individual level data since as early as 1980s. And, for example, the POS data, that is point of sale. We all know what is a point of sale transaction is. The customer reaches the store's point of sale terminal to pay for the product which he wants to purchase. POS system proceeds to calculate the price of the product. Customer makes a payment and POS transaction is done. Now this everything over here, it is being recorded. What product the customer purchased, why did he purchase that, was there any discounts or offers that compelled him to make the purchase, what was the mode of payment which was used by the customer, whether it was a net banking, debit card, credit card, stuff like that. So all these things are being recorded. Now it is time to shift our focus on the companies, because greater demand is there to learn about customer preferences and product and service customization. Earlier, companies were product centric, and that is why they were designing strategies accordingly. Now the focus has shifted from being product centric to customer centric. Realizing increasing customer heterogeneity, we must understand, companies must understand that customers are not a homogeneous group, they are a heterogeneous group. There is a mixed crowd. So we cannot just use a single product, a standard product for each one of them, because they are all different. And also put available resources. And when I call available resources, we are primarily concerned with data. So this data must be successfully used and processed into practice to cater to the customers. And again, last one is use customer profitability as a key objective function. We have an example over here in the format of a video where I just give you a brief. We all travel by all those modes of transportation, but if we talk about airlines, then the question is whether they sell flight tickets or travel experience.
मेरी प्यारी पुचकी, अगर मेरे ख्वाब सच के आसमान में उड़ान भर पाए तो वो सिर्फ तुम्हारी दोस्ती के पंखों की मदद से। अब उड़ने की बारी है तुम्हारी, और पंख वो मैं भेज रही हूँ। बिना सवाल झट से उड़ी चली आओ, तुम्हारी तितली।
किसकी चिट्ठी है मैडम?
दिव्या की।
दिव्या? वो तुम्हारी बचपन की फ्रेंड? हाँ। इतने साल बाद? वाह, क्या लिखा है?
पता नहीं, बस लिख दिया आ जाओ।
और ये टिकट्स भी भेज दिए?
हाँ।
चली जाओ मैडम, वीजा वगैरह सब कुछ हो जाएगा।
हाय, हेलो।
Don't worry, ma'am. We have more baggage allowance.
Okay.
Any seat preference? Flying abroad for the first time. I'll block a window seat for you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Air India. This is your captain Divya Sharma, and I, along with my co-pilot Pankaj Desai, welcome you aboard on our flight to San Francisco, and I wish you a pleasant journey.
दिव्या की फ्लाइट है? फिर तो ये अपनी फ्लाइट है।
आसमां की सवारी पे उड़ चली अपनी यारी रे, समझे वो जायका अपनी चटपटी दोस्ती का, जुबां पे घोल दी यादों की मिसरियाँ।
दिव्या को मेरे फूड का टेस्ट आज भी याद है। एक्चुअली आपकी कैप्टन दिव्या शर्मा से मिलना है। वी नो ईच अदर।
Okay, ma'am. She'll meet you after we land.
रख सिरहाने यारी का तकिया, पैर पसारे यादगारी, आसमां की सवारी पे उड़ चली अपनी यारी रे।
ये तो दिव्या नहीं है।
Hello, ma'am. I'm Captain Divya Sharma. I've been told you wanted to meet me.
एक्चुअली आई वांटेड टू थैंक यू। आप लोगों ने इतने अच्छे से मेरा ख्याल रखा।
Of course, our pleasure.
थैंक यू।
Please.
पता है, मुझे ऐसा लगा मेरी अपनी ही फ्लाइट है।
Of course, ma'am. ये आपकी अपनी ही फ्लाइट है।
हाय।
How was your flight?
बिल्कुल अपनी सी।
In the entire video example, we don't know from where to which airport the flight tickets were booked, what was the expenses, nothing. They were not talking about all those flight ticket details. They're primarily talking about the travel experience, talking about CRM. This is the way the companies are functioning. Moving ahead, we will just move on to defining the CRM now. It is the process of selecting the customers that a firm can most profitably serve, and thereby shaping the interactions between a company and these individual customers. This can be done by identifying who are the most profitable customers and then accordingly developing specific strategies to interact with them, whether we want to acquire new customers, that is by locating and enticing new profitable customers, or the companies want to retain existing customer by improving the relationship with the profitable customers, or by, if we find that the particular market or customers are not profitable for us, then we need to terminate the relationship with such customers. But again, that has to be done in a very professional manner, right? For example, recently Ford just moved out of India, so it does not only it stopped the manufacturing only now, not the after sale service. They are still running because termination of relationship has to be done again in a professional business corporate way. Assessing customer value is very critical to CRM. When we talk about customer value, it is the economic value of the customer relationship to the firm that is expressed on the basis of contribution margin or net profit. CRM is the practice of analyzing and utilizing marketing databases and leveraging communication technologies to determine corporate practice and methods that will maximize the lifetime value of each individual customer. We are talking about the lifetime value of the customer. Again, if you look at the examples, all those cosmetic advertisements which you see on the TV, they spend a lot of money on marketing of their products to acquire young customers, including university students. Now, even companies know that these young people, they are likely to spend less in comparison to older people because they are still studying. They might not be having that kind of money. Still, these companies are focusing them in their marketing campaigns because these companies see this as an investment. Companies expect that those young people may be spending less today on cosmetics, but they will be spending more on cosmetics in the future. So that means that they are basically looking at the young customers as an investment. Now we will conclude with an example of CRM practice. Amazon CRM. Throughout these past few years, especially keeping in mind the pandemic, Amazon has become the go-to online platform for online shopping. One of the main reasons for this is Amazon's CRM system, that is Customer Relationship Management System. Amazon has one of the most complete CRM infra in the world that can very cleverly harness customer data during purchases to instantly customize the user's online experience. When purchasing an item from Amazon, you will need to set up a personal account. We all know that. Then Amazon can track your purchases and browsing history to tailor marketing campaigns and email campaigns based on things that you probably like. Moreover, you can configure your account in such a way to set up purchases in just a single click. This feature is one of the most popular features of Amazon, and customers appreciate it as it dramatically speeds up the checkout process when making a purchase. To conclude, we must understand and differentiate between being customer centric in nature and being product centric. The era is to be customer centric nowadays, and it is necessary because the markets are very differentiated. CRM is a customer centric process as it helps in identifying profitable customers, developing strategies to interact with them. CRM is not only limited to enhancing customer loyalty, instead profitability, in other words customer value, is critical to CRM. With this, I wind up this session. See you in the next one. Bye bye and take care.